What is up, everybody? I know it's been a while, and I'm recently getting back into the Division 2. And mostly playing PvP. Pretty much lost interest in the PvE in the game for the time being. And I've been transitioning most of my loadouts from PvE to PvP ones. Every day, people are asking me what build I'm running, where's my video, and I've been, neglecting YouTube for quite some time. So I'm going to be uploading, I think, like one new loadout every day. I'll try to for the next week. I don't want to just dump them all out on the same day. But this is my most common build that I run. I think it's really good all around. It's an assault rifle build. It's, when fully optimized, will be exactly 60 crit chance. It'll have over 170 crit damage, including a Coyote Mask, so almost 200 crit damage. And some headshot damage to armor. The build consists of Coyote Mask for your exotic. And most people should be familiar with this. You get, crit damage, crit chance, or crit chance depending on the ranges that you shoot someone. And it gives it to your teammates. Some people like to build, for 50 crit chance. I don't think that's worth it myself, so I still build for 60 crit chance. It's really easy to do with this brand set composition with only one pair of either Fox Prayers or Contractor Gloves rolled to crit chance. And you'll be 60 crit chance with your Eagle Bearer. As far as brand composition, it's one Fenris, one Seska, one Grupo. Fenris gives you that assault rifle damage. Seska gives you the 10 crit chance. And Grupo gives you the 15 crit damage. You can also go with, 3 Providence and Fenris and no Coyote Mask. That's a real common build. It's a little bit easier for a lot of people. But once you get the good rolls everywhere that you want, I've done tests, on paper with math, and this one's just slightly better than the other options. As far as your Contractor Gloves, mine, I rolled blue. Same thing with my Fox Prayers. You want to get 3 or 4 blues on this build. Some people prefer it with 4 blues. Some people prefer it with 3. I usually run it with 3, but it's, partly due to that I don't have a perfect piece that can be rolled blue in the other slots. So, gloves. These are their standard DPS gloves rolled to crit damage. Knee pads. These are your standard Fox Prayer knee pads. I rolled these to crit chance. It can be either one of these pieces, but one of them is going to need to have crit chance on it, or you're going to have to put a crit chance mod in your gear. All my mods are rolled crit damage, so it's either, one roll of crit chance on your gear or 1 crit chance mod in your slots. As far as your Grupo piece, it can be any of the 3 slots. It doesn't matter if it's your backpack. Mine is my backpack, and Concussion is the talent that I prefer right now. I used to run Vigilance a lot, but especially with the Eagle Bearer, Concussion works great. You get a headshot, you get multiplicative total weapon damage to anywhere, headshot or body shots, for 1.5 seconds, which is actually a pretty fair amount of time. If you look here, once we hit one headshot here, we've got the buff, and now it's gone. And there it is again. So, all those shots there would have, none of them hit the target, but all those shots there would have been buffed. So if you're hitting a headshot once in a while, or a lot of headshots, it's great. Now, if you get a headshot kill, it further increases total weapon damage, which is good multiplicative damage, for 15% for 10 seconds. That's a lot. So once you get a headshot kill, if you're running an Eagle Bearer, you're going to have tenacity. You're going to be nearly unkillable. And you're going to now have 15 to 25% bonus damage from your backpack. It's great. As far as chest goes, I run Unbreakable usually. Now, if someone in my group is running a Tardigrade, I will sometimes swap out Unbreakable for Intimidate. So when you have bonus armor with Intimidate, you get 35% amplified damage, which is a lot. So instead of running my own Unbreakable, I'll, depend on my teammates' Tardigrade, which when I would normally die or break my armor, it would give me a bunch of bonus armor, which then means I'm doing a ton of extra damage. And it comes at the perfect timing because usually if I'm taking a bunch of damage, I, might be able to win the fight if I can all of a sudden output even more. So that's a nice swap. You can also swap for whatever here. You don't need Unbreakable. You could go with Efficient. You could go with Spotter, but I would recommend not doing that because I like the fire specialization for this build. You can go with Intimidate, like I said. Even run Focus if you wanted. It's really up to you on your chest talent. But just like the backpack, crit chance, crit damage. Mod is crit damage. For the holster, it could be one of the 3 brands again, Fenris, Grupo, or Seska. And mine is rolled blue. Crit chance, crit damage. As you can see, this is not that great of a holster even. It can get optimized. I haven't even bothered because I feel like I can find a better holster than this rather than dumping so much materials into optimizing this. But this is my only piece of gear that's not 6 crit chance. And, when it is 6 crit chance, will be exactly 60 crit, which you can't get over. I'm sure most people know that you cannot have more than 60 crit chance. So anything over is just a waste. I've got crit damage that I can optimize throughout here. Not a lot, but definitely like 3% or so. Let's see. Guns. Eagle Bearer. I think I used to not be that much of a fan after they nerfed it, but especially in, 1v2, 1v3s, multiple engagements. It's not the greatest 1v1 gun, obviously. I would never use it, but this gun is insane. Its main thing is tenacity. If you get a headshot kill, you have a buff for 15 seconds. You'll start glowing red. You can stack the buff up prior to proccing it. So say you hit body shots or headshots, 1% for body, 5% for headshots. It will build up stacks on your gun. You'll see it next to your gun. And what happens is 40 to 80% of the damage taken is delayed until the buff expires. So normally I'm at 80%. So if I proc tenacity, all of a sudden I'm reducing damage by 80%. It makes you almost unkillable. Even if you have low armor, if you have tenacity up and they don't, you're probably going to win the fight. It's amazing. Now, sometimes you'll end up dying afterwards, especially if you didn't kill them in the head. But if you do kill them in the head, total damage delayed is reduced for each enemy killed while the buff is active, up to 100% with 3 kills. So if you killed 3 people, you would actually take none of that damage that you delayed. It's great, and this gun has saved me countless times, even if I end up, dying from it or popping, and usually you can get a teammate to res you if that happens. Second gun is up to you. I prefer the FAL, Carbine 7, or FAMAS. All 3 of those I would choose in sync as my talent. And I use this more as like an engagement gun when I'm not really close up. I use the Eagle Bearer when I'm more close up. This gun does a lot more damage. I'll pull my shield out, and, all of a sudden once you shoot him and pull your shield out, you're doing 30% weapon damage extra with this, with in sync. It's a great talent. I think it's a little bit overtuned and stronger than everything else. I wouldn't be surprised if they nerf it in the future, so be careful. Don't collect only in sync guns. Make sure you have some backups for, if they do nerf it. You want your assault rifle health damage as high as possible, and then the most important thing is damage to targets out of cover. Second choice would be, damage to armor, but I do think that the 6 to armor isn't even close to as good as the 10 to targets out of cover. Most PvP in this game is behind cover. Plus, riot shields don't count as armor. They count as, not armor, so damage to targets out of cover works on them. Like I said, FAL, Carbine 7, or FAMAS are my 3 preferred guns for this. And I usually use the FAL because it's really great at long range and hits really hard. So you can use this gun to weaken enemies and then push in with your Eagle Bearer and try to get that tenacity. It works great. Love it. The other thing is when you're running the fire specialization with the fire shield, which is great, it also comes with a mod, an underbarrel mod for 10 crit damage. So I choose to use that because it puts this gun exactly the same crit chance as the Eagle Bearer. Crit chance on the scope, crit chance on the muzzle, and then 10 crit damage on the underbarrel. You're not using an Eagle Bearer, or you're not using, the fire specialization and instead wanted a spotter chest with technician or something. You could put crit chance here or whatever you want. But great gun all around. Love it. And it's a lot more popular than it used to be. As far as skills go in the Dark Zone, obviously the fire shield, it's unbelievably strong up close. You want to make sure you mod it so that you get bonus damage per enemy. So any enemy in front of my shield that's within 10 meters of it is taking 12% multiplicative extra damage, as well as people behind me on my team. They will do also extra damage. And if there's more than one player in front of you, you do, even more damage. It's crazy strong. And shields are unfortunately pretty much in every single build other than like one-shot sniper builds or LMG builds. But usually LMG builds and one-shot sniper builds, they still have the big, bulwark shield for when people get close and pull out their pistol. It's unfortunate, but very, very strong, and I highly recommend it. Second skill I recommend is the decoy. This is up to you, but the decoy is unbelievably strong in this game. Now, if you're like, say, door camping or something, or, completely in control, you don't necessarily need a decoy. You might want to change to the Coom launcher or Sticky Bomb EMP or EMP Pulse or whatever you prefer. But in general, the decoy has caused me to win so many fights. You don't show up on radar. You don't show up on pulse. And your name is hidden. So they don't know how much health you have. And a lot of times they'll see you, but it won't register because they don't see the name and the health bar above you. And then you're already shooting at them. It allows you to, say they pulse. You can pop your decoy, and then you can run around behind them, and they won't even know you're there and get the flank. It's great. I love it so much. My game just crashed. This happens a lot. But fortunately, this video is basically over. So there will be more ones if you want gameplay. I don't usually do that in my build videos. It's mostly just about, the stats and the composition. You can check me out live, Twitch TV/Inigo Montoya. I stream almost every day, and you can, ask for some gameplay of a specific build or ask me questions there. You can also comment in the YouTube video. Let me know, guys. I'm glad to be back here. I think I covered all this stuff before my game crashed. I have some fixes for that, but they're not obviously 100% consistent because this has happened numerous times this morning already. But thank you guys so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check me out on Twitch. See you around.